Hey guys, what's up, PJ Potentials? Oh my god, I got a spicy story for you guys. 100% real, 100% true. Um, Now, you may be able to debunk it in a different manner, but it's just my story and my personal experience. Um, it's 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 a little sad as well for me because it happened during a period of time where something tragic had happened. But I'll not get into that whole aspect. However, I will relay the story as it happened to me. Now, some of you may call it out as debunk it, this, that. That's totally fine. You're entitled to your opinion. Um, the reason I decided to tell this story now is because it's almost 10 years that this happened, and it's been fresh in my mind. It happened in 2011. Uh, so, yeah, I think so. It's a good time to let the world know about this story, right? Some of you all have heard it, for those who personally know me, but kind of, wish-washy kind of way, and I've never told the entire story. So all the new guys to the channel, etc. So let me begin the story. This was early 2010 and 11. In fact, it was 2011. Into end of 2010, somewhere around November, December is where I had started my weight loss journey, or you can call it my journey into bodybuilding, or you can call it my journey into being more physically fit and mentally fit as well. Because of traumatic experiences, I had to take control of my life. That thing aside, yeah. So you guys will understand where I'm coming from. So I was probably 3 or 4 months. Yeah, this was probably in August or September of 2011. Yeah, August or September of 2011. I mean, I recall the story very well. It's just the dates I'm a little confused, but yeah, August or September, between those 2 months. So, as part of my journey of weight loss, or as part of my journey of being more fit and physically fit and mentally fit, I had crazy as this sounds. So, in the year 2011, I had decided to become a total vegetarian. Not a vegan. I mean, I would still have milk and things like that. I'm not that crazy, but I just focused. Yeah. So yeah, I just become a vegetarian for that year. I was eating nothing but vegetables. It kind of sucked, to be honest, but I had to do it, because I wanted that result and I was like frustrated. So yeah, that thing aside and what I was eating aside, right? So one of my routines during the day, one of my routines was, I was in graduation that time, so my college was probably at 9 a.m. in the morning. So one of my early morning routines was like jogging, or you would call it running for, I think so, 8 kilometers, 8 or 9 kilometers. I'm not sure about the distance, but it's pretty far. For the people who know me, basically I would run. I'll give you a point. I would run from my home to the airport, basically the airport in my small city. So for those, I'm just making things a little more clear. So on this particular day, right, I had gotten up a little more earlier because some days I had a little more motivation, a little more passion. So instead of waking up at like 5 a.m., I would wake up, let's say, at 3:45 sometimes. Yeah, I was that crazy and that driven to lose weight, and I eventually did, which is a different part. But coming back to the story, so yeah, so I was running through my track. Basically, it's a straight road, right? And I leave the home at around 4, right? So 3:45 I wake up. 15 minutes I take time to clean myself, etc. And I should generally leave home mostly at 5 a.m. But in this instance, I was leaving home at 4 a.m. Right? So I had another 5 minutes to spare before it was 4 a.m. So one of these on those days on that sorry I'm just a little shaken. So during that time, I had this phone. It was actually a Nokia, I think so, 5112. I think so. It was one of the first, the touchscreen handheld motion gaming smartphones that you had that time, right? So I was laying on my bed, like just like this, early in the morning with a small dim light on, and I just turned on my camera, just to not record myself, but I just wanted to see how the front facing camera takes a picture of me. uh, during that light, right? So when when you turn on your camera by default, initially it turns the back camera, not the front camera, right? So I remember I was like laying down like in this lay down position. So I turned on my camera. Remember, all those times we used to use our phones, in this, in the inverted man, the portrait mode basically, right? I was using my phone like this, and I turn on the camera. It switches on to the back camera, and I'm like this, right? So I'm not very comfortable. So I get up like this, and I like turn my hand like this. And when I turn my hand, I see in the screen, I can see the screen. It's still not changed to the front facing camera, right? Because you had to manually do it wouldn't automatically do it or something. So when I get up, and before I click the button to change it to the front facing camera, right, uh, to tap it to change it to the front facing camera, I see something in the screen that's like a ball of light that shoots. That's not the only thing, just wait, it gets interesting. So that happens, and I'm like, oh, what was that? So I keep the camera on. So I keep the back camera on. I don't turn the front camera, and I just look around. What was that? Don't see anything. Some of you guys may call it a lens flare, or a moth, a bug, whatever, right? So at that point of time, I also probably thought it was, a bug or a fly or a moth or whatever, right? So I just turn off the camera, and it's now 4 a.m. So I leave the home in the morning, and I begin running. So it's 4 a.m. and by 4:20 to 25, somewhere around 20-25 minutes, I almost reach my destination of reaching the airport, right? So that's the first part. So I reach the airport and then run to the airport and then run back, right? Uh, just before the airport is like an electric company. I don't know, it's like a GM electric company, I think. Beside that is a whole, so to before the, beside that are no buildings. So if here's the airport, opposite to that was like a few meters away from that opposite side of the road is the electric company, and I'm running towards it, right? But before I reach it, there's like I would say like a 200 meter of bush basically. It's like, I don't know what you call it. It's basically shrubbery and bush of various plants, shrubs, herbs, and trees, right? So this is a small like mini kind of jungle kind of thing, right? And behind that is nothing. It's more jungle and more trees, right? So as I'm like, I remember I had I had this hoodie that said hoops or something. So I was like running, and then if you guys know me, I like nature, so I keep looking around. And at this time, I was like, I just like I'm heading towards the airport, and here's the jungle or the thicket or the shrubbery. So I turn on this, I see a it's kind of crazy. It's the same thing that I saw in the camera, right? That ball of light go straight ahead, right, across my camera. When I did this, like I saw a ball of light just go back. And remember, at this space, like I'm like panting, and I'm like not panting. I was like in the mood, right? That runner's high that you get. So I'm in that mood of totally pumped up and running, right? By this time I already lost a lot of weight. Still didn't have a lot of weight. I was already lost most of my weight. So I just turn like this. I see this light go this way, like from one end to the. It was like, it wasn't like a straight. It was more like like it came out from somewhere. Like it came out from somewhere and then disappears back like this. It's like a curve kind of thing, right? So when I did this, I saw some light and it disappeared. And when I did this, I was like, okay, and because I was like running in the motion, right? I was in the motion of running. The momentum, like I could not just stop like this, right? Right? I was at a quicker pace because it's dark at night, guys. If you are staying in India, right? There's always that fear of you being mugged or whatever, right? So always running in quite quick motion, right? So and the momentum. So it took me like 4 or 5, 6 steps to stop, right? Stop and just look, what was that? And there's nothing there. It's dead silent. Behind me there's nothing. There's 2 parallel roads beside me. There's no traffic. It's early in the morning. Nothing. Only thing is like the street light, right? So I'm like, holy shit! This is the second time that it's happened, right? Once on my camera lens, and the other time in this, I don't know, small mini jungle, would you call it, whatever. If you're from India or you're from one of these second world or third world countries or whatever, right? You'll find in between plots these empty plots wherein the jungle has taken over. Now, before you say it was a light behind the shrubs, there's nothing there. Like I said, it's like it was like a thick jungle, and I double checked as well. Trust me. Uh, so that was my paranormal experience. I was totally shaken up. I didn't even reach the airport. I just turned back and ran straight back home after reaching 20-25 minutes. So at that moment of time, like by 5:10 or 5:15, I think so, the sun starts to rise. So it was it was basically breaking dawn, right? So yeah, so I just ran back. Never told this to anyone in detail. I've spoken about the camera incident a little bit, but they just just said it's a bug or whatever. But for it to happen 2 times in less than like 3 hours, right? With me, and I was, trust me, I was not like, before you say, I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion, but so that was my what do I say, one and only true and paranormal slash slash UFO slash whatever, right? Whatever you want to call it, right? An incident that cannot be explained, right? So I just thought about letting you guys know. It, as you can, I mean, the tragic story. I will not mention this, but for those who know it, right? Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm just a little shaken because it's been 10 years. I've been trying to prove whatever happened was wrong. But I've not come to a conclusion as of yet. But yeah, that's what happened to me. Let me know in the comment section and in description, not in the description, so what, in the comment section, as to what happened to yours in your situation. Have you in your lifetime ever had a paranormal experience? Your stories, your ghost stories. Now, whether that ball of light was a ghost, whether the ball of light was a poltergeist, whether the ball of light was a UFO or an alien, I don't know that. Okay, I just know it was unidentified, and I can't explain what that was. Right? It is definitely not an orb, because we all know what an orb is, right? So an orb is like round, but you can see through. This was like thick. It had like a core which was like shining light. It was still round, but it was thick, and it had like that milky, not milky. It was so milky that you cannot see past it. Now, an orb, generally you can see past it. For those who know, right, what I'm talking about. So ever since then, I've been fascinated with the paranormal world, and want to find answers as well. So I just thought of opening the camera and talking to you guys and give you all something interesting during this monotonous week of what work you keep doing, right? So let me know what you guys felt about my story, right? Like I said, if you like this video, please go ahead and leave a comment about your stories, and subscribe to all the good stuff, right? Until then, guys, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Cheerio.